welcome to
What's Happening in the Mother Lode
with Sarah.
It's Sarah.
And this week it's a little different because what's happening in the Mother Lode is storms.
It's a lot of rain and a lot of snow.
Storms, a lot of like atmospheric storms.
Yeah, and bizarre ones.
Bizarre.
Like, it's this whole season 2023 has definitely started on
our salt
a little different. Yeah, I'm like it started off very weird.
Yeah, it's already started off really, really odd. So most of the events in our area have been canceled. There are a few that we'll tell you about that are coming up towards the end of the month. But this particular week, all that's really happening are the storms.
Yeah, and the events that are happening, also double check because of the storms, things can be canceled very quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
So always double check and make sure that it's still happening.
Yes. But what we thought we would do, we have a couple of community producers who we show their programs on our channels, and we thought we'd show them to you as far as what's been happening out there. And also Sarah took some photos out in Amador County in the Jackson area, which is what you're actually seeing behind us.
Yep. Yeah, because that's a rainstorm.
Oh, it was crazy.
Like New Year's Eve, it was full force, and we had so much flooding up in Jackson that it was crazy. Yeah,
so this actually is the police station. If you've ever been there, highway, I believe it's 49 is right here. 88 is here. This is where you turn. A lot of times you turn so quickly you can't, you're like, oh, I don't even know what building that is, but this is the police station, and this is the parking lot underneath it. So it's like totally flooded.
It's like 2 feet of flooding underneath there, and this is a creek.
Yes.
And this is going into Main Street. This is
I'm going to go back again. We're like flipping around, you know.
But yeah, Jackson Main Street up towards the National, and then that antique building was flooded, and the basement in the antique building was completely flooded, which they had a business in there, and I don't know what happened to that business. Hopefully they got hopefully they got everything out. But it was heartbreaking. I didn't. When my husband's like, let's go drive around and look at what the rainstorm did, I was not expecting this.
No,
I was like, oh my goodness.
And then when Sarah showed me the photos, I know that obviously we've been having a lot of flooding in Valley Springs. A lot of the creeks are rising. The upper county, we're getting record snow. I think Dodge Ridge, which is obviously over in Tuolumne, I think they got something like 6 feet or something. It was huge amount. Bear Valley, I'll check and see how much they got. So the ski resorts have gotten a huge amount, and actually people are still going up and skiing. So that's be safe. Yeah, that's like, I love to ski and snowboard type of thing. But let's go on next to the next photo, which is Sutter Creek.
Yeah, that's Sutter Creek. That is the town hall building, and as you can tell, I think they have
right here.
They have someone pumping the basement, and then they have water pumping out of the basement. So all of that was completely full, and then the park, which is over here, it was flooded all the way up to the park benches, and it was like just on the verge of going into that parking lot,
which is just
crazy. But it's just the power of Mother Nature is just amazing. And how quickly it happened. But again, this is the park, so it's going up into there. Those are where the park benches are.
But look at all this water.
It's nice because we needed a lot, but again, we don't need a whole year's worth in a week or two.
Exactly.
Slow down a little bit.
It's still coming. You know? So and there have been a couple lulls where people have been able to, get everything together and figure out what their damages is, and we're going to tell you, the county has some, on their Office of Emergency Services website, they have residential and business forms where you can just fill it out online if you have damage, so we're going to talk to you about that a little bit too. But this, I think, is back in Jackson.
Yeah, that's back in Jackson. So Tacobo's here. This is 49, and this is a little bridge, and as you can see, there's a whole bunch of debris that's getting stuck on there, and that's a lot of the flooding is because, a lot of these creeks and mostly creeks and little rivers have gotten jammed up with just debris.
Yes, absolutely.
But the water's just pouring over it. That bridge
just can't even believe it. Yeah.
And then the houses that were over there were like 2 or 3 feet. It was heartbreaking. And this is over the road.
Yep.
A little creek had expanded, and now the road was completely covered. So
Yeah.
it's definitely be safe
Oh,
with these
yeah, when you're
rainstorms,
driving.
because a lot of trees are going down too.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. And you never know when you are, let's say you decide you're going to forge this in your car, you're never quite sure how deep it is. And this can be quite powerful, a water flow. It can actually lift your car up and
I think
take
they say
it
it
down.
only needs like three feet of
Yeah,
water to be able
yeah.
to move the car.
And
It
even
doesn't
if
need a lot.
even if your car stays in the place, it can come up into your engine and actually short your engine out.
Yep.
So you got to be super careful when
Yeah.
when you're dealing with.
We did not
water.
attempt to walk
No.
over that. We are drive over that. We just turned around and went
going
back.
going home. And then the next photo.
Oh yeah, these are the houses
Yeah.
right off of 88. That's you can tell there's the courthouse, the old courthouse,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
Catholic church. But again, like if you look over here, it's going into these people's garage. It's just, and then we had canoes that were getting swept down.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of just things from people's backyards. It was destructive. Very, very
was.
destructive.
Absolutely. And I think we have a couple more, and this is that.
That's
area
a house,
again.
this poor house with this creek. And it was completely, like, they had to have at least a good 2-3 feet of water
Yeah.
in there, which is heartbreaking.
And actually, this happened in the Valley Springs area too. And we have a video. Let me see if I can find it. I'll have to go back. You have to excuse us because we are public access here. Kevin Stray went out and he videotaped the flooding in Valley Springs, Jackson, and Gold Springs. See, so you can see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the water's just going.
Yeah,
over.
it's just going.
It was a force. And we still have more rain coming. So
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
definitely be
There's another
prepared.
front coming, and the governor just this week, I think it was yesterday, declared that we are now a federal emergency situation and not just a state emergency situation. And obviously, all of the counties and municipalities have also declared states of emergencies. So this is just a little bit of what Kevin, you can go to his Facebook page to see the whole video, and we are showing it obviously on Channel 7 as well. But see how deep this is? I mean, these are F-150s, Chevy Silverados, Ram trucks,
And they're
barely getting through. I mean, this is just.
It's not worth it. If you look on Highway 99,
Oh,
there
yeah.
was just a strew of
Yeah, this is a lot
cars that were
of time.
abandoned because they
Yeah.
couldn't get through.
And look, there's a poor Santa.
That truck.
Yeah.
This is, oh man. It's heart-wrenching seeing
It
this.
is.
And no one's prepared for it. I mean, no
No.
one was expecting this much
No,
rain to
not this
happen and to
much.
do this much damage.
And I think the last time we had flooding was like this was like 100 or something.
I think we
years
had
ago.
something in the 80s, but not this bad.
Yeah, but not up here.
Okay.
In the 90s, the whole Central Valley flooded, but the levees all broke. If you guys remember that, that was interesting. But I think as far as flooding up here to this level, I think it was about 100 years. The Calaveras Historical Society Museum has done an article on their Facebook page about it. Super interesting. But we do have some areas that flood like, but not like this.
And it is interesting because we are getting so much rain that we're still in a drought. Yeah, because our ground is so dried out.
It can't absorb it.
It can't absorb it. So we're going to need multiple rainstorms and multiple years of it to get back to not being in a drought.
Yeah.
So even though we're getting lots of rain, it's nice to have these breaks and then get more rain so it can soak more into the earth. But we're still in a drought, even though we're drenched. And that's
We're
bizarre. I'm like, you think it would be fine.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, wait,
You're
there's
like, wait a
so much
minute.
that needs to happen.
So I'm going to take us to, Joel Metzger did an amazing video of Murphy's Park about the same time as what Kevin Stray did.
Wow.
So this is all, the gazebo is over here, and I think he does pan over to that. But, I mean, just look at it.
Well, yeah, and That's going pretty quick. That's the other
fast.
thing
You have to be
is you
so
might
careful.
You might be
See
like,
the
I can make a
gazebo's
cross,
flooded.
even walking, but it doesn't take much, especially if you have young children. It's just, again, you got to be smart and you got to be safe in this type of
Yeah,
weather.
for
I mean,
sure.
have your chains, have always have emergency kits. So make sure you have
Emergency blankets,
Emergency blankets,
lights,
yeah,
even
exactly.
granola bars.
have something in this weather, because who knows? I mean, if you get stuck and you're stuck there
Yeah.
for an hour or two, waiting for someone to come help you, make sure you're prepared.
Absolutely. And then there was one actually that I want to make sure that I got the right one. This is the one. This happened just this week. A thunderstorm, tornado actually touched down in Valley Springs area. Sarah she lives sort of in that area, so she got the notification. But
Yep.
this is what Kevin Stray filmed that night.
And it was crazy, yeah, because we started at 3 o'clock in the morning, we started getting the buzzing from our
Exactly.
phones, and we had to wake up our children and move them all into the front room because it had the less windows in there, and then eventually made it into the hallway because the wind started picking up, and then the thunder was just crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it did touch down, so there was
Yeah,
a lot
it did.
of
There was. It didn't cause
Milton,
any-
right?
I think it was near Milton. It didn't cause. I mean, it caused trees, uprooted type of damage. But as far as residential buildings, it was like kind of for us out in the middle of nowhere. Let me get back to the beginning of that video because I don't think we got to the beginning of it. Again, like I said, we're public access. Oh, that's Hunter Reservoir. I'll show you guys that in a minute.
Yeah, it's definitely starting, 2023 has given us a run for
our money, yeah.
It's just so crazy that, we've had a tornado, we've had flooding, we've had a whole bunch of stuff happening already. But it was scary, that tornado, because this is the second tornado warning we've had since, I think, October. And it is definitely...
See, this is what I wanted to show. This is what it sounds like when you get the notifications.
Yeah, and it's loud enough to wake you up.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And then if you do get a tornado warning, the best thing to do is to avoid windows.
Yeah.
So if you can get into an enclosed room or into a hallway where there is no windows, that is the best way to do it because you don't know what's going to come through the windows and break the debris. And to make sure you get into shelter, which is... Yeah, it's very important, especially when you just don't know the end. I mean, at this point, we just have no idea what's going to happen.
What's happening.
But it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And then we wanted to show you one more thing, this is another Joel Metzger video. This is actually Hunter Dam, the spillway.
That's gorgeous, though.
So they have so much water, and this is the old flume. Now, Joel is the executive director over at Utica Power Water Authority. I always get the acronym wrong. But they have hundreds of miles of old flume, wooden flume.
Wow.
It's historic, actually. But he did a presentation at Bret Harte High School on the 9th. And City Administrator Rebecca Callan was there, and they talked about the history of the flume and the water system in the area. We will be showing it on Channel 7, and it is fascinating. So Joel takes amazing video and photographs, but look how full Hunter Dam is.
It's...
Hunter Reservoir.
I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean, that's one nice thing with all of this rain is everything's getting restocked up. We're getting lots of snow. So we are definitely on the right track of making sure that we are in a healthy situation
going forward.
But we still do need a lot of this. So as much rain as we possibly can get, hopefully not as much flooding. And then those little breaks in between are nice because then the water can absorb.
Yep.
And then we can get a little bit more. So hopefully there is a lot more rain, just not as dramatic.
Yeah. And we are going to have rain this coming weekend. They're talking about from Friday until Tuesday, actually. a heavy snow forecast, 3 to 6 feet in the Sierras, and then wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. And that's another
wind,
thing, was
yeah.
the wind was really bad.
Yeah, I'm like, I can take the rain, as long as it's not flooding. But that wind, I'm like, this is an expensive winter, because it took out the plastic from our greenhouse.
Yep.
It took away my kids' trampoline, and it just blew it everywhere. So we're going to be after all the storms are dying down.
And that's what seems to be people's, thought. I mean, other than people who've been evacuated and that type of thing, people who have had damage, but they haven't been evacuated, they're just waiting until the storms ride out, until they figure out what exactly they're looking at.
Exactly, and that's all you can do at this point, is kind of just wait until the rain dies down, and then get a bearing on what you need to replace, what you need to fix, and things like that. But it's definitely, but there's like, you're gonna have to look at the roof is gonna have to be, make sure you inspect that, because this wind has been very crazy. Our hood and our chimney got blown off, so we're gonna have to replace that.
That's
it's on there, so no rain coming, but we'll definitely have to replace that when it's done. But
for sure,
it's been
we're not even out of January yet.
No. I'm like, okay, just give us the rain, no more wind. No more wind. Let's stop the wind though.
Exactly.
But if you did have any damage, you can go to fill out a county form, especially in Calaveras County. We have calaverasgovernment.org or .us, and then you go to the Calaveras County Emergency Operations.
Yes.
And then go ahead and go down and go to their helpful documents, and it's the Cal OES damage definitions for individual assistance, and then you can get one for residential or business. So once the storm slows down, like today, I think today and tomorrow is supposed to be a little bit on the cloudy side, but
a little bit, and then it's supposed to start up again.
So
the Animal Services, Calaveras Animal Services, has been providing evacuation for small pets, dogs and cats, and then also fairgrounds, big animals, obviously horses, goats, chickens, I think, that sort of thing. So what's really nice is that in these situations, our community always pulls together, and they do that quickly. Our main library, has been providing shelter for people so that they can stay warm. So there's a lot going on, and if you just, go to OES or the library or Calaveras Animal Services at the calaverascounty.gov website, you can find all the different departments and what you might need.
Exactly, because they're also offering, I know in Amador they have sandbags, so you just have to have your bags.
Yes.
And then that way, because there is another storm coming up,
absolutely,
is to be prepared. So if you do go buy bags, you can go get the sand from the county.
Yeah.
And then
we have those.
Prepared.
Yeah, we have those listed on our Facebook page, and we have them on our public service announcements here at actually on Channel 7 and Channel 9 too.
And that's the other thing is, if you are looking for information, you can always go to our Facebook page and get information, because we try to post things from everybody on there, so it's kind of a general hub.
Yeah, and if you just have our channels, you can also see the advisory message strip. So anytime there's this level of information that needs to get out to the community, we activate our advisory message strip, and we give you the basics. You can call 211 for emergency support in a storm, and then they also I have to go to our page, our Facebook page. There is also a community services number where you can actually find out where to get sandbags and that type of thing, and that is 209-754-2855. And so there's a lot of places you can get information. So whether you're on the internet, on television, either way. And there are actually a couple of events coming up that we wanted to tell you about.
And again, double check the events, because if the weather is bad enough, it could possibly be canceled. So always just double check.
Yeah, exactly. So one of them is actually January 14th. We'll see if this one continues. It looks like it might be, is actually it says it's possible the event may be canceled. This is a free District 10 dump day. It's supported by Caltrans, District 10, and Calaveras County. This one is actually at the Calaveras County Fairgrounds, which is on Gun Club Road in Angels Camp. And you can dump like appliances, mattresses, tires, and that type of thing. No rims are accepted though. So if you have any like big items that you've been waiting to offload that the dumps, our regular dumps won't take, go ahead and take it to this one, but make sure that it's going on before you head on out there. But that's from 8 a.m. to noon on Saturday, January 14th.
Perfect. And then the other thing is always make sure that you are dressed appropriate.
Yeah.
So make sure you are dressed warm while you are running out doing these events. Another one is Messy Mornings Learning Through Play is happening on Friday, January 13th. It happens pretty much every Friday. And it's from 10:30 to 12. And it's off of Broadway in Jackson. And it's Dress for Mess, which is this, again, I think we've talked about it before, is it's a great place for kids to socialize, make friends, but it's also a really great place for the parents to make friends with who have children their own children's age, which is always a good thing. So this is a great hands-on learning experience and fun. So if you are interested, that is Messy Mornings, and this is put on by the first five, I believe. I'm pretty sure. The first five in Amador.
Yeah. And then on Tuesday the 17th at Valley Springs, and then again on Wednesday the 18th in San Andreas, the Calaveras County Library has January crafts for adults.
Nice.
Which is really cool. So you come out and you can do crafts with the library. And the 17th it's at 2 o'clock at the Valley Springs Library, and the 18th is at 10 o'clock at the San Andreas Library. And again, make sure that you contact the libraries to make sure that it's actually still happening.
Yep.
Because who knows what's coming through this weekend?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we know, we just don't know how bad
we don't know how bad it's going to be. At this
Yeah.
point, nothing's predictable.
Exactly.
So, the other thing is we are in January, and that means spring is right around the corner. So if you are planning to do a spring garden and you're looking to get that going, UCCE Master Gardeners of Amador County will be hosting a public education class on Start Planning Your 2023 Garden. That's the Saturday, January 14th, and it's from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., so noon. And it's at the General Services Administration on the Airport Boulevard. So if you're going down towards Sutter Creek, you go towards the Animal Services and Airport, it's back there. And they are going to be talking about the plants that you can start planting, when to plant them, all of that fun jazz. They're also going to be talking about roses and how to prune them, and then also grafting any fruit trees that you're planning to do for 2023. So a lot of good information.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like crab feed season is still on so far in Tuolumne County. There is another one in Calaveras County we'll get to in a minute, but this is actually Saturday, January 14th in Twain Harte. It's from 4:30 to 7:30. Admission is $55, and it does support the Soroptimist International of Twain Harte. And if you want more information about it, you can call 209-928-1616.
Nice. And then the Columbia Jazz Artist Series is happening, and this will be at the Murphy's Creek Theater this weekend on January 14th, and performances start at 2 p.m. And the tickets are about $18 for reserved seating, and there's only 132 seats. So if you are interested, make sure that you go online to the Murphy's Creek Theater and reserve your seating and your tickets. And it should be a really fun performance. They have a lot of really cool musicians coming out and playing. So yeah,
that's good. And then on the Calaveras County crab feed, 21st of January, the Calaveras, I want to get this correct, and I'm going to get it wrong. It's the Calaveras Consolidated Fire District's 2023 crab feed will be in person on January 21st at 5 p.m. at the Jenny Lind Fire Station. And it looks like you can just hop on over to Ticket Stripe for tickets. They are $65 a piece. But as far as we know, this event is still going on, but make sure you double check, because that is only 9 days away. This is a big fundraiser for that particular fire district, and they do a lot for, and how, I mean, the thing is with the storms, you see how much these fire districts do, right? And the sheriff's department, and the CHP, and OES, and PG&E. I mean, the private-public partnership is well on display
100%.
when we are dealing with these types of storm issues, or even the fire issues when they come through. So anytime we can support our people out there, our I want to say health and
Emergency
human
services.
people, humans, emergency services, make sure you do.
Yeah, and you get crab.
And you get crab.
You can't beat that.
Yeah.
You cannot beat a crab
We
feed.
lost our picture.
They are so much fun. Another fun event that's coming up is the 36th annual wine tasting, and this is at the Copperopolis Historical Armory, and it's the first taste of the year. And this is sponsored by the Copperopolis Community Center, and all the proceeds go to benefit the historic brick church and the Union Guard Armory. So this is January 14th from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And again, this is at the Union Guard Armory off of Main Street in Copperopolis. And advance tickets are $25 for, and then they're going to have a whole bunch of different types of wines there to taste, and then at the door, if you plan to purchase your ticket at the door, it's $30. And if you have any questions, you can give Linda a call at 209-985-1849. And this is again on January 14th.
Yeah, so it's just, it's going to be pretty hit or miss with a lot of these.
Yeah, again, double check.
And then Martin Luther King Day is coming up, so on Sunday, I know, on Monday, can you believe it?
It's so crazy how quickly this year's flying by already.
And on Sunday, actually, at 2 o'clock in Sonora, the Mother Lode Martin Luther King Jr. celebration is going to take place, and that will be at 100 School Street in Sonora. And it's returning after a 3-year hiatus.
Wow.
To celebrate, the ideas of equity, fairness, and justice in the Mother Lode.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's all we have.
I think I'm getting down to the last, Sutter Creek does have its annual flea market happening on Saturday, January 15th. Again, if it is raining, it will probably be canceled.
Yeah.
So this is an outdoor event, so if it is sprinkling, make sure you have your umbrellas or your rain gear on. And this will be from 6 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the evening, and the admission's $1. So this is kind of one of those, you go find your treasures, which is always a lot of fun.
And then we seem to keep on going back to our tornado watch, so we're just going to let that play. But there is an event on January 19th in Sonora that looks like it will be so interesting. This will be at the Sonora Military Memorial Hall on January 19th at 2:30 to 4:30, and it is the Tuskegee Airmen Heritage Group of Greater Sacramento will come and speak about that particular group. They were an all-black fighting group during World War II. So they're talking about that group and what they did. And of course, there was a time where our military was segregated, and this particular group helped desegregate the U.S. military. So that should be absolutely fascinating. So if you want to find out more information about that, the number is 650-787-7022.
That's fantastic. And then again, spring is right around the corner, so if you are planning to grow your own flowers this year, there is a flower arrangement class happening at Made in Amador, which is in Amador County, or Amador Amador City.
Amador City.
I'm like, Amador County. I'm like, wait a minute.
Amador. It's
Amador
Amador.
City. And that's this Sunday, January 15th at 12 p.m. So you can go learn how to arrange your own flowers or arrange flowers in general. And it is, I don't know if you've ever been into that shop. It's adorable. It's everything in there has been made somewhere in Amador or Calaveras County. And so they will provide all of the materials and supplies to do this. And then you can bring your own snacks and drinks of your choice if you want to come to it. And I don't see a price on here, but you can go to either their website, Made in Amador, or go to Facebook under events and then put Made in Amador, and they'll pop up. And they also have another class on the olive wreath class, so you can make your wreath for your door. And that's this Wednesday, January 18th at 5:30 p.m. Again, it's Made in Amador, and it's the same thing. They provide all the supplies and materials to make these beautiful creations. So it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. So, and I think that's about it.
That's it for this week.
We have enough on our plate. And again, if you're thinking of going to any of these events, make sure you call ahead. And there's a lot of resources, like we had mentioned earlier, for you to actually call or email or go online and find out the best way to take care of yourself and your family. And, just thank you again to all the emergency services people
100%.
who have been working so hard to make sure everybody is safe and healthy.
Yep, exactly.
So, but we will see you again next week, and hopefully we won't be in a storm.
Hopefully not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. As long as we get a little bit, I'm okay. But these full-on ones they're a lot. They're intense.
3 in the morning tornado warnings are a
and
little.
the wind. I'm like, just no more wind.
No more wind.
No more wind.
No more wind. Yeah.
Let's just do gentle. Let's get some sunlight, a little
And
rain.
breezes.
Sunlight.
Breezes, yeah.
Right.
Anyway, you guys take care of yourself, and we will see you next week.
Perfect. Bye.
Bye.